Well, hello there. Welcome once more to Contour's Kitchen. And if this is your first time stopping by, I'd like to say a very warm welcome to you. Today I'm sharing with you the recipe for this jollof rice, which is so perfect for the season and it's going to be a hit in all your holiday gatherings. Really hope you are able to give this a try. I know you will love it. And those guests and your family, even if it's for just a family meal, I know they will just love you for this. So to make this jollof rice, I'm going to be using my pre-made tomato stew, which I'm going to be sharing the recipe with you as well. I have some green and red bell peppers, an onion, some green beans, pan drippings from turkey that I previously baked, and my rice. To start, I'm going to go ahead and start cooking my tomato stew. This is just to warm it a little bit to get started. So whilst my stew warms up, I'm going to go ahead and wash my rice. And in my bowl is 6 cups of jasmine rice, which is the preferred rice of most Ghanaians, especially in making jollof. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to wash it as much as I can to make it thoroughly washed. And then I will strain it, set it aside, and mix it in my stew when it's time. So my rice is pretty much well washed now, and I'm just going to go ahead and place it in the bowl so it can drain off all the water. And now back to my tomato stew. So it is starting to boil up a little bit, and this is very well prepared, as you will find out soon in the video I'm going to be sharing with you. And it really doesn't need much. I made it plain tomato stew with herbs and everything, but no stock or anything. That's why I'm going to be using the stock from my turkey. And I feel like I just need to revive it just a little bit. So I've put in 2 extra bay leaves, even though I made the stew with a few bay leaves. And I'm adding a teaspoon of curry powder just to bring some kick. And it already had curry powder as well. So just a teaspoon is all I need to just revive it. And yes, it smells and tastes good already. So I'm just going to stir it up a little bit, let it cook up so the curry settles in a little bit, maybe just 5 more minutes, and then I'll add in my rice. 5 minutes later, and I'm ready to add in my rice. So as you can see, it is thoroughly dried. It has no moisture. And this is because I wanted to toast in the sauce a little bit. And the stew, of course, is pretty much dried up as well. Very, very concentrated. And do you even see how dark the stew is? It's very well cooked. And this is the way you want your stew to be for you to achieve that dark, rich colored jollof rice. And that is the preferred kind of jollof, your smoky jollof, your party jollof. And this, trust me, is gonna be everything. So I'm just gonna let it toast a little bit and I'm gonna cover it, and it's on my very lowest setting, and I'll be stirring it every now and then. So I'm just gonna let it toast for about 6 to 8 minutes, and I'll be constantly stirring it. So this is my pan drippings from when I baked turkey, actually for Thanksgiving, and I froze it as soon as I got it in my bowl, and that is why I'm able to have the fat, come up on the top. So it was frozen actually when I brought it up, and I let it thaw so I could lift the fat from the surface. And yes, this is so good. It's so flavorful. I baked it with these vegetables on the base of the pan, and the taste is just different. And so I'm going to warm this up. I'm warming up the stock, and then I will be able to strain it that way so I can add it. And that is a good way for you to be able to get the fat off your drippings or your broth. Like if you have enough time, refrigerate or freeze it, and that way all the fat comes up on the top so you can strain it. So I stirred up my rice after toasting for about 6 minutes. I stirred it the last time, and now I'm just straining my drippings. so I can get out the vegetables. I don't want them in the jollof. They won't be that desirable. And this you can throw away or blend up and use in making your soup, like your Ghanaian light soup or any soup that you think you would need the carrots in it. Carrots in soup is amazing. So don't waste them. They're still pretty much good for something else. And just look at this. I have stirred it and I'm just going to add just a little bit more water, about a cup and a half of water in here, and that is it. This is just enough liquid to cook my jollof to how I want it, the texture I want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this now and let it cook gently. So it's cooking on a very low heat, and about 10 minutes later, I come in to stir, because in cooking jollof, you need to constantly stir it. Yes, so this Stirrers Association, yes, Yenyaje, like we are very happy because this is the kind of meal we want. But in as much as you want to stir your jollof, you don't want to over stir it because you will break up the grain, and you don't want that. So you stir it because you want it to be evenly cooked, thoroughly cooked, but don't overdo it. I'm going to go ahead and cover this now and let it continue to cook. So another 10 minutes later, I came back to check on this, and look, all the liquid is drying up in here. The rice is getting softer, but it's not all the way softer. As you can see, the shiny white part in there still, so there's still a lot of raw rice in here. So I stir it up one more time just to mix it up. And now I'm going to cover this with parchment paper before the lid. And this is going to trap some moisture in here and help you cook your rice better. Previously I would have used aluminum foil, and back, like way back, you would put plastic, but we've come to know these are all not good for you. And parchment paper is a better way for you to do this. So look at the rice now. Just look. About 6 minutes of cooking it with parchment paper, I come in and stir it again, and it's getting really much there. Like this is almost done. So I stir it and I'm going to cover it up one more time with my parchment paper and lid, and this will go for another 10 minutes on the lowest setting, and it's going to be done. So I'm going to be adding these vegetables, with these beautiful colors, so much perfect for the season. I'm, however, not going to add this straight into the jollof rice. So I'm cooking this on the side, sauteing it. And this way, actually, it's going to be more flavorful, more fragrant, because it's cooking on its own. This is like a little stir fry, and it's going to be pretty much well seasoned as I'm cooking it separate. And the kids, this will be good for them because they don't want all these vegetables in the jollof anyway. They're going to make it fast. So cooking this on the side solves the problem for everybody and assures your vegetables are beautiful, just beautiful as well. So I've added in all my other vegetables, the peppers and my green beans all cut up. And I'm just going to let this cook on a very high heat, because this is like a stir fry, so it's on high heat. And I'm just quickly cooking it. So I added some salt, and now I'm grinding in some fresh pepper, black pepper, and now let this cook for about 3 minutes, and that is all it's gonna be. Like 3 minutes, I'll cover it to trap some steam, so especially the string beans will be a little bit cooked, and pretty much that's it. So probably just cooking this for a total of 6 minutes, and that's all you need. You don't want to overcook your vegetables. And this is going to be a garnish as well. So you want the colors to pop, the colors to be popping. Yep. So this is pretty much done. It steamed up a little bit when I covered it, and I've turned off the heat. And just then, of course, like perfect timing, the jollof is also done. And the chicken that was baking in the oven, it's all done. Like everything came together perfectly. And look at this jollof rice. Look at the texture. Look. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. And the smell, the aroma is just beyond amazing. That pan dripping did it, so well seasoned. That turkey recipe I shared with you. And if you cook that turkey, you already know how juicy it was and how flavorful and fragrant the drippings were. So I'm just dishing out some of the rice to go onto the table. And as you do this, you try to pick up your bay leaves and hopefully there's no star anise licking anywhere because I have that in the stew. And if you find it, just take it out. So I'm now just adding my vegetables onto my rice. This is just to go on as a garnish. And just look. Beautiful. I know, yes, this is like popping. And in as much as your rice is delicious already, you want it to be so beautifully presented that anybody that sees it, even before tasting it, will like, ah, jollof way dear, I'm gonna make my coming here worth it. I'm just gonna eat my belly full. That is totally okay because you know how we do it, huh? We cook and we make sure there's enough for everybody to enjoy and hopefully go home with. So rest assured, this is not going to be a problem at all. And of course, there's no beautiful, delicious Ghanaian jollof without Ghanaian salad. So this is also beautifully represented here. And this chicken, my spatchcock chicken, there's a recipe here that I shared months ago. So I'm going to link it up so you can check that out as well and make it. This is good. This is going to be so good. I can't wait to sit down and enjoy this meal with my family. So party or just a home meal, this is really going to be the crowd pleaser. Everybody's going to love it. Try this and I know you won't regret it. And until I come your way next time with something delicious, be loving, be kind, be happy.